All right, welcome back to this 30 days of meditation experience. Um my name is Nathan. I'll be guiding you through these. And as always, find yourself a comfortable position, a comfortable place, and let's get started. Okay, so yesterday we talked about how the breath is always here and available to help us punctuate the day with moments of moment, and how practice isn't about making a continuous line of ever present mindfulness. It is about punctuating the day 1,000 times a day with this moment as much as we can. It's about remembering to do so. And of course, the breath is such an amazing anchor to help us do that. Now, today we're going to switch gears a little bit away from practical advice to something you may expect to see from practice, something that might be an indication that practice is going in a direction. Now, I know I always talk about not seeking any kind of future, so I talk about this with a lot of what's the word? A lot of warnings that please don't attach to this. Just just don't make it say, "Oh, I'm seeking this. Is this outcome happening for me? It's not really happening. I must not be practicing right." Don't worry about this too much. But it is a very important kind of thing that you may notice with a regular meditation practice. And as always, I'm talking way too much. So find yourself a comfortable and sturdy seated position, and let's get started. Find the breath wherever you feel it the most. Put down the to-do list and the past. Give yourself permission to leave alone the heavy burdens of both the past and the future. Begin to rest and allow this moment. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, no one to become. Just rest with breathing. Come back. Come back to the breath. Return to the breath. Remember, thoughts happen by themselves in the same way that your heartbeat happens by itself. It's an error to believe that you think. So just let them go, like noises outside the window. Let the breath anchor you right here. And let the mind think what it wants to. Remain with breathing. In and out. Wake up. Wake up from thinking. Return to breathing. In and out. Where are you aware of the breath from? Where are you aware of the breath from? In the same way you found the breath, find the finder. Look for the looker. Turn the attention back. Where are you aware from? Turn it around. What sits here? Where are you aware of thoughts from? Remember, as Sri Ramana Maharshi says, this isn't a question to be answered in the usual way. It's a question to dissolve the questioner. Where are you aware of the breath from? And if you don't understand, stay there and completely rest. All right, you can look at the screen. Oh. How do you feel right now? You happy, sad, peaceful? Whatever it is, that is your mind. Whenever you're happy and elated, excited about this new thing you're doing, that is your mind. And whenever you're sad and depressed and let down, suffering, lonely, that is your mind. Every experience, everything that is noticed is our mind. I mean, I don't even get me started about how we basically hallucinate our experience scientifically. You know, what you see out in front of you isn't out there. What you're experiencing is the condition of your optic nerve back here, right? Anyway, you can look it up. We hallucinate our reality. But the point is, that's not the point. The point is, everything that is experienced, good or bad, is filtered through this thing we call mind. So, what else in the world is more worth paying attention to? What else in the world is more worth studying? As Socrates would go around, the philosopher, he would always say, know thyself, know thyself, know thyself. Why? Because it truly is the source of not only our own well being, but the way we deal with others and others' well being as well. Because when you know the suffering in your own heart and where it comes from, then when you see it in somebody else, it doesn't damage you, it doesn't become personal. But if somebody says, you're this and that, you're bad at your job, and we go, oh, me? That feeling, we take it personally. The person. But if you know yourself, you have looked at this mind, this experience, you see why that suffering arises. This constant need to get somewhere else. This constant trying to control what can't be controlled, asking from the universe what it can never give to you. And when we see it in ourselves, immediately it becomes obvious in others. So I will say one way of kind of indicating that you know practice is taking some sort of effect. I say this with a lot of caution, but some sort of effect is when somebody's misbehaving around you, maybe at work, maybe the person you despise, when they misbehave, it's not a catastrophe in your mind anymore. You actually understand it. And you feel a sense of compassion, not pity, but compassion. Because we all suffer. That's why one of my favorite lines from Thich Nhat Hanh, the Zen master who died recently. But he said that, when somebody angers you, when somebody hurts you verbally, when somebody says something against you and puts you down, that's not a personal insult. It's a cry for help because they too are suffering inside. And we only behave to the extent that we are suffering inside. So if you're know somebody, or if you're this kind of person that sees the world as kind of a scary place, you're probably an anxious human being. If you see things kind of bland and not worth happening, you probably see a little bit of depression there. You rather, I shouldn't say you're an anxious human being. There's the presence of anxiety. There's the presence of a depression. Or maybe if you're just angry at everyone, there's anger within. And when you know those people who just are not kind to you or happy to you or whatever it is, that's how they project to you, gossiping, talking crap. That is how they feel inside. It's a cry for help. So the more we practice, the more we get to know ourselves. This experience right here, the more we understand others, and the more we can actually relate to others, as horrible as you may think they are. And yes, even if they're on the opposite end of the political spectrum from you, you don't lose the compassion for them. So know thyself, and you will know others. And you will cease from hating those who act incorrectly, who cause other people suffering. Because you have seen it in yourself. That's why when I left the Zen Center, my teacher told me, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, just practice. Doesn't matter what's happening, doesn't matter where you're going. Just practice. It truly is the only thing worth doing, because our minds are the most important thing worth knowing. Thank you for your time today, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 25.